The Spanish city of Barcelona is set to slam tourists with new charges for overnight stays amidst protests by locals against overtourism, which saw visitors drenched in water.
스페인 바르셀로나에서 과잉 관광에 반대하는 주민들의 시위에 관광객들이 물세례를 당한 데 이어 시 당국은 관광객을 대상으로 1박당 매기는 도시세를 또 한 번 올릴 예정입니다. What's going on in Barcelona?
Well, they get a lot of tourists, and they've been charging them for a while now. There are two separate charges, two separate costs you have to pay. One is a regional charge, and one is a city tax. And this city tax is now going to rise for the second time this year. Last April, it went from 2.75 euros to 3.25 euros, so almost 5,001 in total. Now it's going up to 4 euros, which is about 6,001 per night. So you have to pay that for every night you stay in Barcelona, and that's up for a week's stay, and that's coming in October. It's because, well, protesters have been, telling tourists to go home.
Yeah.
They're fed up of having too many of them. So the idea is this money will help make things better for the people who actually live in Barcelona as opposed to those who just come and visit.
도시세를 올림으로 인해서 관광객들을 좀 덜 받고자 하는 그런 의도도 있죠. 너무나 관광객이 많이 몰리니까. 자, 첫 번째 표현 보겠습니다. To charge someone something.
Yes, or in this case, we're using it as a noun.
Yeah.
A charge, meaning a cost, a payment, a fee of some kind. You may have to pay a parking charge if you park in a garage. You may have to pay service charge if you're eating in a restaurant in Europe or in America, for example. I don't think we have service charge usually here.
No.
No. So there are all sorts of charges. In this case, it's a tourist charge.
Oh, unless it's you using valet parking. I think that you have a service charge
Okay,
there.
yes.
자, 이 charge라는 것은 명사로 썼을 땐 요금이 되겠고요. 동사로 쓰면은 그런 요금을 부과하다, 매기다 이 뜻이죠. Overnight stay는요?
That's where you are located somewhere for just one night, for 2 days, for that period. There it goes from sun to moon to sun again.
네, overnight라는 게 한 밤을 지난다는 뜻이 있기 때문에 overnight stay는 1박 숙박한다는 뜻이 있습니다. Alright, here's the headline again. The Spanish city of Barcelona is set to slam tourists with new charges for overnight stays amidst protests by locals against over-tourism, which saw visitors drenched in water. Here's our next headline.
LA Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani has set another milestone by hitting his 30th home run of the season, a blast that traveled 144 meters over the bleachers at Dodger Stadium.
네, 미국 프로야구 로스앤젤레스 다저스의 스타 선수 오타니 쇼헤이가 다저스 스타디움 관람석을 넘어가는 비거리 144m의 시즌 30번째 홈런을 날리며 또 하나의 기록을 남겼습니다. Ooh, let's talk sports then.
Yes, this is incredible. I mean, it's his 30th home run of the season. It's his 100th game as a member of the LA Dodgers.
Already?
Yeah, and this was an incredible shot, 144 meters, clearing 2 entire sections of the bleachers of the stands in the right center field. It's quite incredible. He now holds the second longest Dodger Stadium homer since they began tracking these distances in 2006. So the longest one was a 476-foot drive in 2006. So he's not quite there yet, but judging by how well he's doing, it's quite possible he'll beat that record as well.
Paul, what's a bleacher?
A bleacher, nothing to do with cleaning products.
No?
A bleacher you will find at a baseball stadium. And it's raised seating, raised benches. I never heard it used in the UK growing up. I think this is very much an American term, and it's used for outdoor sports where you have benches that raise up and up and up and up and up, usually made of metal. Can be in a stadium, could be at a school, just around a field of some kind. Those are the bleachers.
I don't know if our listeners are aware, but in England, we don't really have baseball or basketball for that matter.
Well, we have basketball at schools. Schools play basketball. I played basketball as a kid.
All right, baseball then. You do have cricket, of course. But,
played rounders and softball.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have very popular professional baseball or basketball.
네, 맞습니다. 영국에서는요. 야구가 우리나라처럼 이렇게 크지 않아요. 아예 야구하지 않는 곳들도 많아요.
Because we play cricket. Cricket is one of our big national sports.
맞아요. 크리켓이랑 베이스볼이랑 공통점도 있지만 좀 또 다르기도 한데 어쨌든 영국에서는 크리켓이나 라운더스라고 하는 어린이들이 하는 그런 버전의 게임을 더 많이 하지 베이스볼은 하지 않아요. 학교에서 저도 한 번도 영국에서 배워본 적이 없었는데 그래서 좀 저도 생소한 표현들이 많이 있긴 해요. 네, 매일매일 배웁니다. bleachers는 지붕이 없는 그 관람석, 외야석을 얘기합니다. Setting a milestone, what's that, Paul?
It means you're making a record or breaking a record. You're doing something that no one has done before, or no one has done in the same way as you. Or it can just be setting a milestone in your life, meaning you've done something that you've never done before.
Yes, setting a milestone이라는 것은 원래는 이정표를 놓는다는 뜻이었는데요. 이게 무언가 내 인생에서 중요한 기록을 세웠다라는 의미로 비유적으로 씁니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. LA Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani has set another milestone by hitting his 30th home run of the season, a blast that traveled 144 meters over the bleachers at Dodger Stadium. Now here's our final headline.
K-pop boy group Enhypen has debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums chart with its second studio album, Romance Untold, making it the band's highest charting album to date.
그룹 엔하이픈이 두 번째 정규 앨범 로맨스 언톨드로 미국 빌보드 메인 앨범 차트 2위에 오르면서 자체 최고 순위를 기록했습니다. Alright, let's hear more about Enhypen.
They almost got to number 1, but they were beaten out by Eminem's Farewell to Slim Shady. He took the number 1 spot.
Okay.
But they collected 124,000 album equivalent units in the US. Which means they're one of the most popular albums of the week over there. Yes, what's interesting is that it wasn't mostly digital, it was physical album sales. Of these 124,000, 117,000 came from these physical album sales. So it's a big hit for them. It's the best they've ever done. And good luck to them. Who knows? They could get to number 1 next week.
Yeah, who knows? Well, there are many different types of albums. The studio album is the 정규 album, and then we have the mini albums, the solo albums, the whatever albums
the
they have.
EPs.
Yeah, and the many different types of albums. Okay, the first expression to look at here is debuting.
Yes, and when we're talking about an album debuting, it's when it's released, where it comes in the charts. So here it debuted at number 2. However, a new band, a new group, a new musician will make their debut, meaning that will be their first performance or their first release.
All right, the pronunciation of this word is a little different in Korean. We say 데뷔하다, but in English, debut.
Yes.
데뷔라는 발음만 주의하시면 될 것 같고요. 데뷔. To date.
Until this time. If we use this term to date when talking about an event or an action of some kind, it means this has been the best, the worst, or whatever it is until this point.
지금까지라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 여기서 지금 얘기하는 게 It's the highest charting album for Enhypen to date.
Yes, meaning previously they've not had an album that charted higher, but in the future they may well.
그렇죠. 그러니까 엔하이픈에게 있어서는 지금까지 최고 순위를 기록한 것이 된 거고요. 그 이후에는 또 더 좋은 기록이 있을 수 있으니까 그 이후는 모르지만 지금까지는 이렇다.
Yeah, but let's be honest, there's only one spot up they can go. They're number 2. There's only number 1 left.
Well, why not head for that? Okay, here's the headline again. K-pop boy group Enhypen has debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums chart with its second studio album, Romance Untold, making it the band's highest charting album to date.